was Optimus Prime LeBron. We're talking about like Megatron, freaking Derrick Rose
Okay.
from the first Transformers, where he totally doo-dooed on the Heat in all 3 of their regular season games. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let Me Finish. This
LeBron should win
time,
5
we're going to
MVPs in a row.
talk about, did LeBron deserve more than 4 MVPs that he won? Alex, tell us how many you think he should have won, and we'll go from there.
So I think LeBron, he should have had 6, right? And all
Okay.
all-time greats at one point or another have like been snubbed of an MVP or 2. Like this is not something new to NBA history. I'm sure there are years. Michael should have won when he didn't. We know Kobe famously was robbed of 1, maybe 2.
Right.
Although I believe those Phoenix teams were actually really good, and those Laker teams that might have been during the time when.
So
Kobe
moving on to LeBron.
But LeBron,
what are the two that you think he should have won that he got snubbed from?
The 2011 Derrick Rose, which I think is probably the most obvious one to point out, and then the 2016 Russell Westbrook.
Okay,
one.
So let's start with the Derrick Rose one. Why do you think he should have won over Derrick Rose?
Because he averaged more points. They averaged basically the same assists. Derrick Rose is at 7.7. LeBron's at 7. He averaged more rebounds. He gave you 51% from the field. Derrick Rose only gave you 45. They shot the same from 3 at 33%. LeBron's team 158 with Miami. That was the first year in Miami. 158, and Derrick Rose team 162. So Derrick Rose's team won more, but not demonstrably more.
Right.
And LeBron's PER better. LeBron's true shooting percentage better. Win shares in favor of LeBron. And the games played were 79 to 81. So again, not demonstrably better for Derrick Rose. So the reason LeBron didn't win is because we were really, really mad at LeBron. And by we, I mean the collective we in the media and fans, and the narrative was that was LeBron's first year in Miami. He was a villain. We didn't like him. We were mad.
Fair thought. I actually don't know if he should have won that. And here's the reason. So in all of NBA history, a vast majority of the MVP winners have gone to the best player on the team who comes either first or second in the NBA. So that's first point. This year, Derrick Rose led the Bulls to the first team in the NBA. So there's point 1. Point number 2 is Derrick Rose led that team there where his second best player was arguably Joakim Noah or...
Right.
So what I'm saying is the same thing with...
Best defensive team in the league, which we know Derrick Rose wasn't...
right.
Was not an awesome defender. Like you're right. He carried that team offensively.
This is what he created for this team offensively. LeBron had a little bit more help, and we all know that LeBron is not one to fully gas up on the regular season. They did play really well in that regular season. They won 58, like you said. But
right, this was prime LeBron.
We're talking about Derrick Rose that was in. So if this was prime LeBron, this was Optimus Prime LeBron. We're talking about like Megatron, freaking Derrick Rose from the first Transformers, where he totally doo-dooed on the Heat in all 3 of their regular season games, and he brought him to the first team in the NBA, and he was playing out of his mind. Like I said, also, it's about the story. This was Derrick Rose's story, man.
Oh.
This is Derrick Rose's story. This is right before he tore his ACL. He was looking like he was the best
He
point
was looking
guard
like
in
he
the
was going to be
league.
Westbrook before Westbrook, which is overrated and overhyped. But yeah, let's go.
Look, that's all I'm saying is, yeah,
Historic.
LeBron's numbers are almost always better than everybody's.
You know why? Because he plays better. And the value thing, especially in hindsight, I think is like we know what happens to teams when LeBron leaves them, irregardless of the pieces they have on that team.
Right.
They
For
go from
that year,
contending to championships to out of the
right.
playoffs.
But for
And it was the
that
first
year,
year.
I think that was Derrick Rose year.
Right. But it was the
Potentially.
first year. It was the first year in Miami. And even if it was Derrick Rose's year, it was not 113 first place votes to 4.
Okay, I think that was kind
Like
of. I
100,
agree with that. I don't think it was
113 first
runaway like
place.
that.
It was
I
points
don't think
to
I don't think it was runaway, but I don't think he was snubbed.
um I think it was snubbed. I mean, I do, obviously, as the whole point of this video, but I think it was snubbed. And the overwhelming anti, like, we just don't like you because you went to Miami, and we're just not going to be happy until you eventually lose in the finals, and we think that some type of justice has been served. Narrative for this is, I think, completely false. And again, like, we know LeBron's more valuable. We know he was more impactful defensively for his team. Those Miami teams built their entire defense around kind of LeBron playing free safety. LeBron got snubbed that year. Like, he didn't win that MVP.
Moving on to the second instance that you think, which is the 2016
the
season,
Russell Westbrook
triple double one.
Which, if hindsight hasn't shown us that we didn't really care about Russ's triple double because he did it 2 more years and he was never in the MVP.
Yeah, that's
and that
crazy.
we only gave that to Russ because we felt sorry because Kevin Durant left, and so we cried a tear for Russ. No, so that year LeBron was 26, 9 and 9. James Harden was also in that discussion at 29, 8 and 11. And then Russ, obviously, 32, 11 and 10 those years. The problem is both Russell Westbrook also averaged 5 turnovers a game and was going to set the league record, if I'm not mistaken, for turnovers in a season. The only reason he didn't is because of his buddy James Harden, who decided to be even worse, turning the ball over that year. And so Harden's advanced numbers, the PER 27 actually to match LeBron's PER at 27. Russ's PER was actually 30 because he was going all wild and out and all that. But the big difference is also LeBron's usage percentage that year was 30%. James Harden 34, Russ 42. Like, their increase in volume was pure, just like it was not about them being like, it was just an increase literally in usage. These guys having these insane usage rates, not being the most efficient, even if, like, Harden, because of all of the threes, his kind of advanced, like, his true shooting percentage was 61. Russ's was only 55. You're just so Harden's advanced numbers are always going to be a little bit better because of the amount of threes that he shoots. But LeBron was actually better from 3 than both of them that year. He shot 36. Harden was only 35. Russ was only 34, which was the best he's ever done in his life. And so LeBron's far more efficient. His team also won 51 games. Russ's team didn't even hit 50. There's only been like 2 or 3 MVPs in the history of the league that don't win at least 50 games. Right. Now, the Rockets did win 55. So, I mean, I think if nothing else, it probably should have gone to Harden and not Russ. But given the turnovers for the other two, and the efficiency of these other two compared to LeBron, I think LeBron deserved that one as well.
I'm not going to say he didn't deserve it, but I will say the regular season MVP is the big award that you get for doing something amazing in a season. And Russell Westbrook did something that has only ever been done once before that. Now, my issue with giving it to him that year, like you said, is he literally did it 2 more times. So he recreated one of the most magnificent regular season statistical feats. He recreated it 3 times in a row. And they didn't care about the second 2 times. And
I
so
don't even think he was in the top 5 in the MVP voting the next 2 years.
That's my issue with that. Is
do you think Russ should have been in the MVP conversation the next 2 years?
If you're going to give it to him the first time, yes, he has to be. If you're still averaging one of the most insane stat lines ever, then if you give it to him the first time, you can't just be ungrateful and be like, oh, you're doing it again, cool, whatever. Like, you have to at least talk about it. And so this, for me, is more about the NBA kind of being ungrateful to Russ's statistical achievement in giving it to him the first time and then just blowing him off the second 2 times, because it's actually more impressive that he did it the second and third year than just the first year.
I agree with you that it's more impressive that he did the second and third year.
I don't think that he necessarily should have won it, because when you look at the gross numbers that what Russell Westbrook put up versus what he actually did in efficiency, I don't think he necessarily had the best case for MVP that year. But my issue is just with how the NBA did Russell Westbrook the second and third time he did it. So I think LeBron, he definitely had a very good case to win that one also. So I'll give LeBron 5, because I think I could see him halfway winning the first one that you talked about and halfway winning the second one that he talked about. So there you go. I think he wins 5. You think he wins 6?
Yeah, well, I think the Derrick Rose one is the one that's probably the most, like, if you like the most. I think in every normal year, LeBron wins that, but it's close. And I think it completely flipped because of the irritation at him leaving.
That's fair.
Leaving Cleveland, and so I thought that was a huge overreaction. And like that was so LeBron won his first MVP in the 2008-2009. So he won in 2009, he won in 2010. Rose wins in 11, LeBron wins in 12 and 13. So we're talking about actually the middle of like the height of LeBron's career. Like he should have had 5 in a row. Like he should have had 5 in a row, and then you know what? To be honest, like probably don't care that he didn't get the 2016 one. Then at that point, if he gets 5 in a row, right? But
yeah,
I do want to make one other note. There's one that a lot of people think, or at least if you think LeBron got snubbed, the other one that you might want to mention is Steph's first MVP. The Warriors won 67 that year. The Cavs, if I'm not mistaken, only won 51. Both players shot about 48% from the field, if I'm not mistaken. That was not one of LeBron's 55% from the field goal percentage years. And Steph actually has him in win shares that year as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I actually thought that going into me doing research for this and me going back and looking at these stats, but I actually kind of flipped on that one.
So you came out the other side thinking that Steph rightfully won that one?
Won, correct.
Yeah, I don't think Steph has ever unrightfully won an MVP.
Well, he's only got 2.
Right.
And the second one was a year that he was 30, 50. You know what? I don't actually think he was 90, but he shot 45% from the field, and that was the 73 and 9 Warriors. Like, there's no,
he was insane. He was insane.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that was what we thought, whether or not LeBron should have won more than 4 MVPs. If you liked what we had to say, or if you liked what Alex had to say, hit the like button. If you liked what I had to say, hit the dislike button. If you
don't hit the dislike
want to talk
button.
About it,
don't hit the dislike button.
If you want to talk about it,
if you're here and don't hit the dislike button at this. If you
Subscribe.
survive to this
All right.
point,
Peace.
don't hit the dislike button.